This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
Happy Sunday, folks. And it is a happy Sunday, I have to say. We've been having a lot of fun here, Pete. Almost too much fun.
Way too much fun talking about people's finances. But you know what? It's a happy thing because you can take folks' it's a happy thing because you can take people's problems and turn them into opportunities.
Absolutely. And everything is fixable. I want people to have hope. I want them to feel that they have a chance to buy their first home or to refinance their mortgage and look at rates that are the lowest that you can ever get that the industry offers. And so I've asked our listeners here in Florida to just take the time out and certainly invest in just ask the question about what would help you save another $300, $400 a month, or when you're looking at it long term, which is what I'm all about, $100,000 to $200,000 just in interest that you're paying on that mortgage that you have. That's like a big number. Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Easy to ask those questions to 800-662-9550. 800-662-9550. When you get a chance, call Sarah at Mohsin Mortgage, and they'll be happy to help you out just with whatever your question might be. Mm-hmm. From our email bag, you say mailbag, but now you got to say email bag. Mm-hmm. We have some questions about employment history and refinancing, how the two intertwine, mm-hmm. and maybe your employment history isn't so good, or you've had some breaks, some gaps in history. Tell us about that.
Well, I think that one of the nice things about working with Mohsin is that we understand the unique situations that our listeners face daily. And in this situation, if you're making a move, let's say, from one job to the next, and you're looking to refinance, as long as you're in the position that you're currently holding, it's similar to what you're moving to, that is not an issue with the lender. And if you have a gap in your employment history because of the economy, we can at least have the lender look at that and even still approve you if you've been working for, let's say, 6 to 8 to 9 months and see if there's a possibility to take advantage of the low interest rates. We're not asking folks to be the perfect borrower. I mean, local banks and credit unions provide a great service. It's just that we're not in competition with them. They want the vanilla loan. They want that perfect 750 score, money in the bank, really no lates on your credit report, no collections accounts. And we certainly provide service to folks of that nature as well. But I know, and as an average American, I know in my heart that I have made bad decisions, bad financial decisions in my 20s. I've had credit card debt. I'm not going to stand here and act as if I'm going to preach to you about what you need to do and how you can save. Because as you know, times have been extremely tough. We've moved from 2-income families to 1-income families to no income whatsoever.
A lot of folks have been thrust into situations they have no control over a lot of times, yeah.
And that's the big part of finances. It is about being emotional about the decisions that you're making. But the most important thing about being emotional is to make sure that you're also being factual and you're getting the right information. I do laugh often enough, Pete, when I hear the gurus. I mean, I've watched this.
The pundits of finance.
Right. The morning shows and the guys that are dressed in their suits and the Gucci outfits, and they're the perfect, pristine business people that supposedly know everything about finance, but they've never lived it. They've never really gotten their hands dirty and figured it out. I mean, my brother and I started this company from zero. We're immigrants. We know what it takes. We know what hardship people have faced. We faced it ourselves. But I want people to have hope, and I want them to know and understand their finances. It's so critical because it affects all parts of life. It affects your children's life, their options to what kind of college they go to, what kind of house you live in, and what kind of future you have.
What kind of stories can you tell us about folks that have borrowed from Mohsin?
Well, I'll tell you one of the big things that I've noticed about anyone's financial future. The first thing that I've seen is that we have finance people who have adopted kids, who've tried to make sure these kids go to college and get a good education, giving people a second chance. And a lot of it hits folks that may be self-employed, because right now lending and being self-employed, it's almost sort of non-existent.
Yeah.
And we offer types of loans that can help you lower your interest rate for business owners or people that are self-employed, and even for folks that have commercial properties. So we are in the business of working with you and giving you good advice, because I've had folks who wanted to buy the McMansion, and I've said to them, if you want to buy that, then you're going to need to work with somebody else, because we know that you would be stretched to make that mortgage payment. It's not worth it.
So you're looking out for people as well, too. It's important to get good constructive advice, not advice from somebody who just wants to get your loan going and get you making some payments and making some money off of you. You really want to make sure that people are secure in what they're doing.
We really have no vested interest, because we are looking at it as the lender pays us from our company. Therefore, it's not coming from the borrower. And my primary focus has always been educating folks and having them understand their finances. So to me, there's really no need for someone to make a decision on a purchase of a home unless they're absolutely sure, or even to refinance unless they can see the savings. And that's really where we come down to the nuts and bolts of it. The savings have to be there, and there has to be a benefit to the borrower.
It's been a great week of information. Thanks again for another great week of Mohsin programs. 800-662-9550, right? Ask, like you say, knowledge is power.
It sure is.
So you can get a lot of information from Sarah on all your financing needs. 800-662-9550.
Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.